In an industry where collaboration is key, putting those egos in the same room can sometimes produce disastrous results. Here are some celebs that learned the hard way that they should probably never work together again. When it comes to being a diva, no one does it quite like Mariah Carey. So when American Idol producers put Carey on the judges panel with Nicki Minaj, they must have known the sparks would fly.
Would it be frightfully tiresome if somebody brought me some ice?
During auditions in Charlotte, North Carolina in 2012, tensions exploded when Minaj hurled profanities at Carey after growing tired of her behavior. The back and forth was captured on video and leaked to TMZ. After the epic blowout died down, the two eventually went back to acting like professionals. In the lead-up to Idol's 15th season, BET reported that Carey claimed the feud was fake and cooked up by producers. However, Idol producers made it clear to E! News that the feud was all too real, calling it a nightmare experience. They also knew exactly who was to blame. Producer Nigel Lythgoe revealed Nicki was not the problem. In 1997, George Clooney was primarily known for his television role on ER, and his career in film was by no means a sure thing. So it was a pretty bold move when the TV doctor went toe-to-toe with director David O. Russell on the set of Three Kings. In a 2000 interview with Playboy, the actor claimed that he grew tired of Russell constantly berating crew members, and the situation reached a boiling point when the director allegedly kicked an extra. According to Clooney, he approached Russell in an attempt to defuse the situation, which did not go well. After a screaming match, Russell allegedly headbutted Clooney. Clooney fought back, and the two had to be physically pulled apart. Clooney told Playboy, "I had him by the throat." Russell and Clooney managed to make it through the rest of production. However, Clooney swore he'd never work with Russell again. In 2004, Clooney told Premiere, "Quite honestly, if he comes near me, I'll sock him right in the mouth." Definitely keep those two apart. Even with a long career cracking jokes about celebrities, Tina Fey seems to walk a fine line that keeps her in their good graces. She's still close with Lindsay Lohan, which proves Fey can be pretty forgiving when it comes to celebrity antics. However, during Fey's time on Saturday Night Live, Paris Hilton was apparently an absolute nightmare of a host, and Fey didn't hold back when asked to share her thoughts on the hotel heiress. In an interview with Howard Stern, Fey said what she really thought.
She's a piece of
According to Fey, Hilton embraced her stupidity and demanded to star in a sketch as Jessica Simpson because Hilton allegedly hated the singer. Fey claimed the Simple Life star barely acknowledged the cast, and in Fey's words, her cheap weave left nasty wads of Barbie hair on the floor.
Always dress like a princess. If you do, you'll be treated like one.
While filming Annapolis, co-stars James Franco and Tyrese Gibson feuded so badly that Gibson openly told Elle in 2007 that he wished he could blow up Franco's house. According to Uproxx, the tension between the two stemmed from Franco's method acting, which even Franco admits was way out of control in his early acting days. In an interview with Playboy, Gibson said he felt like it was more than just method acting when Franco refused to break character while practicing the film's boxing scenes, which often involved Gibson repeatedly getting punched. Gibson said, "I never want to work with him again, and I'm sure he feels the same way. It felt very personal. It was f***ed up." In his defense, Franco claims he attempted to make up with Gibson, and he takes full responsibility. As for Gibson, he's remained mum on the subject, and we don't see the two working together again anytime soon. In 2013, Selma Blair threatened to sue Sheen and Lionsgate for wrongful termination after she was fired from anger management. According to TMZ, Blair believes Sheen had her written off the show after she complained about him holding up production by being a slacker who never memorized his lines. However, sources also said that Blair's time on the show was always going to be short-lived, and when Sheen heard about her complaining, it happened even sooner. According to Radar, that process allegedly involved Sheen firing Blair via text and calling her a certain C-word. While Blair and Lionsgate presumably reached a settlement, Sheen was still salty about the situation in 2017. While appearing on Watch What Happens Live, he was asked to rank his favorite female co-stars. He praised Heather Locklear and said Lindsay Lohan was, quote, fun to look at. As for Blair and Jenny McCarthy,
yeah, I would like to kind of mash those two up together and just do that, just kick them to the curb, you know. They deserve each other.
It's no secret that Kiefer Sutherland loves booze. The actor has 4 DUIs, and he literally wrote a love song dedicated to alcohol. On top of that, he's kinda short, which proved to be a frustrating combination for Freddie Prinze Jr., who reportedly hated working with Sutherland on 24 so much that he wanted to quit acting. Prinze told ABC News, "Kiefer was the most unprofessional dude in the world. That's not me talking trash. I'd say it to his face. I think everyone that's worked with him has said that." After leaving 24, Prinze surprisingly went to work for wrestling promoter Vince McMahon, which he admitted was a different kind of crazy, but still preferable to working with Sutherland. He said, "At least McMahon was cool and tall. I didn't have to take my shoes off to do scenes with him, which 24 made me do. Just put the guy on an apple box or don't hire me next time. You know I'm 6 feet and he's 5'4". In a statement to TMZ, Sutherland's rep said this was the first the actor had heard about Prince's grievances, noting that Sutherland enjoyed the experience and wishes him the best. This isn't exactly a denial, so we're pretty sure these two aren't going to play partners again anytime soon. When Charlize Angels Full Throttle ramped up production, Bill Murray was noticeably absent from the sequel, despite playing series regular Bosley. According to the playlist, The actor was allegedly brutal to Lucy Liu during the first film, having stopped a scene to insult her acting, which resulted in Liu throwing punches. After that, Murray refused to appear in the sequel if Liu was involved, and he found himself replaced by Bernie Mac, or so the story goes. When asked about the incident almost a decade later by the Times of London, Murray simply said, "Look, I will dismiss you completely if you are unprofessional in working with me. When our relationship is professional and you're not getting that done, forget it." Murray also said that Charlie's Angels director McGee deserves to be, quote, pierced by a lance. And Murray admitted to holding a grudge against Harold Ramis, one of his oldest friends and closest collaborators, for more than 20 years. In other words, don't hold your breath for a Liu and Murray truce. In 2013, Shia LaBeouf and Alec Baldwin were set to appear in the Broadway production of Orphans until LaBeouf was fired from the show because of creative differences. In a lengthy interview with Vulture, Baldwin described his version of events. He claims that LaBeouf showed up to the set with a jailhouse mentality and began sending Baldwin videos in which he recited entire scenes from memory. Eventually, the situation went nuclear when LaBeouf told Baldwin during rehearsal that he was slowing him down. At that point, Baldwin asked to be removed from the show, but the director chose to fire LaBeouf instead. A year later, LaBeouf told Interview that his method acting had gotten the best of him. He also said that his goal was to, quote, intimidate the out of Baldwin. He even admitted to following Baldwin home after he got fired from the play. Needless to say, the situation got way out of hand. According to LaBeouf, the two actors have since made amends, but we don't suspect Baldwin will be working with LaBeouf anytime soon, no matter how hard LaBeouf might beg.
What are you waiting for? Do it!
Mad Max Fury Road may have been a box office success and a hit with critics, but behind the scenes, star Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy did not get along at all. In interviews, Theron wasn't shy about confirming the rumors that she struggled with Hardy, and director George Miller even admitted that Theron and Hardy didn't have the best relationship according to People. While sitting down with Esquire, Theron went even further by bluntly revealing that the two actors, quote, went at it, which he blamed on both Hardy's personality and filming conditions that involved them constantly working on a moving truck in the desert. In 2017, co-star Zoe Kravitz confirmed the feud between Theron and Hardy, which she partially blamed on the grueling production. On Watch What Happens Live, Kravitz revealed,
They didn't get along.
Yeah.
They didn't get along.
What
And we
was
were
the
also in
issue?
the desert for so long.
Right.
I think everyone was tired and confused.
When Scott Foley tied the knot with fellow actor Marika Dominzik in 2007, the couple reportedly established a golden relationship rule: cut off all contact with exes. That included Foley's ex-wife Jennifer Garner. In 2015, a source told Radar Online, "There's no relationship, friendly or otherwise, between Scott and Jennifer now. Marika would leave him in a heartbeat if he tried to change that, because to her it would be totally inappropriate." Indeed, Foley appeared to confirm just that to Radio Andy in 2021. He was asked about his marriage to Garner, and noting that Dominzik was in the studio, nervously laughed.
This is
I'm enjoying
dangerous,
this.
dangerous
No, this is good.
territory, my
Now
friend.
Adding that they haven't stayed in touch, Foley emphasized that they're always civil when they see each other around Los Angeles.
Me and, everybody says hi and you're cordial and you move on.
Garner and Foley first met on the set of Felicity in 1998, quickly started dating, and married in 2000. However, they separated in 2003, with Garner blaming both her young age and the crazy pace of Hollywood life. She explained to InStyle, "It is a fast lane life, and if something is not working, it is considered best to end it without much thought. If we lived where I was brought up in West Virginia, we would probably still be together." Even so, she had nothing but respect for her ex-hubby, telling Allure in 2013, "He's a really good guy." How long can a Hollywood feud last? As it turns out, decades. George Takei and William Shatner first met on the set of the original Star Trek TV series in the 1960s, and they're still fighting to this day. In a 2022 interview with The Guardian, Takei claimed almost everyone got along great on set, noting, "Except for one who was a prima donna." He was referring to Shatner, of course, whom he dubbed a cantankerous old man that nobody enjoyed working with. He made a similar claim in his 1994 biography To the Stars, in which he wrote, "Bill seemed totally immune to the sensitivities or efforts of those he worked with. His driving determination seemed to blind him to everything around him." As for Shatner, he told The Times in 2022 that he couldn't believe he was still being talked about. He asked, 60 years after some incident, they are still on that track. Don't you think that's a little weird? It's like a sickness. Another highly publicized and highly contentious exchange came earlier in 2008 when Shatner alleged Takei hadn't invited him to his wedding, something Takei denied.
It's so patently obvious that there is a psychosis there.
Before Daphne Maxwell Reid took on the role of Aunt Viv on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Janet Hubert created and embodied the character for the show's first 3 seasons. Fans were confused when she suddenly disappeared in 1993, but Will Smith soon placed the blame at her door. In a 1993 radio interview, he slammed, Janet Hubert wanted the show to be the Aunt Viv of Bel-Air show. He accused her of being difficult to work with and jeered, she's mad now, but she's been mad all along. Hubert responded by admitting she did butt heads with Smith, but told the Los Angeles Times, I'd worked hard and I never saw that coming. She also accused Smith of trying to tarnish her reputation with lies, telling the publication, he has gotten me fired from the show, and now he is trying to snatch my career away from me. When TMZ asked Hubert in 2011 if she'd ever consider a reunion, she made it clear the wound was still fresh. I will never do anything with an asshole like Will Smith. In the end, she did actually agree to appear on the 2020 HBO Max reunion, where she explained how Smith's accusations affected her.
Calling a black woman difficult in Hollywood is the kiss of death. It's the kiss of death.
In the end, both Hubert and Smith apologized to one another. Rupert Sanders and Kristen Stewart made headlines for all the wrong reasons in 2012 when it was revealed they'd had an on-set affair. Stewart was dating Robert Pattinson at the time, while the Snow White and the Huntsman director was married to Liberty Ross. For her part, Stewart issued a public apology, saying, "This momentary indiscretion has jeopardized the most important thing in my life. The person I love and respect the most, Rob." Sanders, who had been married to Ross since 2002, seemed to have a more lax response. Speaking with Metro in 2017, he mused, "I am bound to make more mistakes, and I wouldn't expect my life to be exciting if I didn't. If you took people off the table for a momentary lapse, there would be no one making art." Initially, Ross decided to stay with her husband. However, she reportedly demanded he not direct the Snow White sequel. A source claimed to Radar Online, she just doesn't want him to ever work with Kristen again. So The Huntsman Winter's War proceeded with a different director, but in the end, it wasn't enough. The couple split in 2012, and Ross filed for divorce in 2013. In 2022, she opened up about the affair with The Times, calling it brutal. Wesley Snipes wasn't exactly a hit on the set of 2004's Blade Trinity. Many of his co-stars spoke candidly about how difficult it was to collaborate with Snipes, who allegedly stayed in character the whole time. Patton Oswalt accused him of trying to strangle director David Goyer, of never leaving his trailer, and of being constantly high. And Ryan Reynolds found the process especially difficult. He later told IGN, "My personality is the polar opposite of Wesley. I never met Wesley, I only met Blade. Things got so tense that he actually tried everything he could to get Snipes to laugh or break character, but failed." Reynolds mused, "It was a challenging process. I've never experienced anything like that." And his exasperation can actually be seen in the film, during one moment in which Reynolds believed the cameras weren't rolling.
He hates me, doesn't he?
Snipes denied the reports in an interview with Vice, but it's safe to say he and Reynolds won't be working together again anytime soon. The results aren't always positive when you throw two big stars together. Harrison Ford and Brad Pitt proved that while working on 1997's The Devil's Own, which almost didn't happen at all because the duo couldn't get on the same page. Speaking with Newsweek in 1997, Pitt revealed he almost quit the project because he wasn't happy with the script changes Ford had requested. He revealed, "This script that I had loved was gone." In the end, Pitt stayed on when the studio told him he'd face a $63 million penalty for quitting. The allegations nevertheless made major headlines, and just a month later, the actor backtracked, telling the Tampa Bay Times the real reason he thought of walking away was that he was scared they wouldn't do the story justice. He added, "It wasn't because of lack of script or loss of faith in anybody." As for Ford, he addressed the drama more recently in a May 2023 interview with Esquire, insisting that the issues did come down to the script. Ford didn't think his character had enough depth, so he worked with a writer to change that, and soon, the script and the very direction of the film were upended. He said, "I was imposing my point of view, and it's fair to say that that's what Brad felt." Kourtney Kardashian has been in her share of sisterly feuds, but none was quite so intense as her physical altercation with Kim Kardashian. The blowout happened on the season 18 premiere of Keeping Up with the Kardashians back in 2020, after Kourtney went off on Kim for making it seem like she was the only one in the family with a work ethic. The confrontation quickly escalated after Kourtney threw a water bottle at her sister.
Do it already. Don't
Delete and delete.
The fight was a tipping point for Kourtney, who then decided to step back from filming the show. Speaking with Vogue Arabia in 2020, she explained, "I was feeling unfulfilled, and it became a toxic environment for me to continue to have it occupy as much of my life as it was." It wasn't the first time the pair butted heads over work. In 2015, Kim berated Kourtney for refusing to be in her video game. Then, in 2023, their animosity was reignited when Kourtney accused Kim of stealing her Dolce & Gabbana wedding looks for her own Dolce & Gabbana fashion collab.
It's just legit copying my wedding.
While Khloe Kardashian encouraged her to talk to Kim, Kourtney outright refused, claiming that Kim is intolerable to talk to. Julia Roberts was the queen of the silver screen in the 90s, churning out hit after hit. Then there was 1994's I Love Trouble, which was the complete opposite. The film, co-starring Nick Nolte, was a flop, and its failure largely came down to its two leads not getting along at all. Back in 1994, the Los Angeles Times reported on the headline-making on-set feud, with sources alleging that Roberts was rude to Nolte because she didn't like his macho attitude. He reportedly pushed her buttons on purpose. Indeed, while shooting the film, Roberts told the New York Times that their relationship was anything but perfect. She admitted, "From the moment I met him, we sort of gave each other a hard time, and naturally we get on each other's nerves." Nolte fired back soon after, telling the Los Angeles Times, "It's not nice to call someone disgusting, but she's not a nice person. Everyone knows that." Jump forward to 2022, when Insider asked Nolte about his past feud with Roberts. Nolte claimed they never buried the hatchet, but did eventually move on. He conceded, "It was partly my fault and a little bit of hers. Julia got married at the beginning of that film, and it was one of those things where I just approached it all wrong."